Yes, Mataji, please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7. The son of Drona punished. Text 1. Shaunaka uvacha nirgate narada sutta bhagwan badrayana shrutavam stad abhipretam tatha kim akarod vibhuhu.
Rishi Shonak asked, O Sutta, the great and transcendently powerful Vyasadeva heard everything from Narad Muni. So after Narad's departure, what did Vyasadeva do?
Sutta uvacha Brahma Nadyam Saraswatyam Ashrama Paschime Tate Samya Prasha iti Prokta Rishinam Satra Vardhanaha.
Sri Sutta said, on the western bank of the river Saraswati, which is intimately related to with the Vedas, there is a cottage for meditation at Samyapras, which enlivens the transcendental activities of the sages.
Text 3. Tasmin swa ashrame vyaso badri sandamandite asinopa upasprishya pranidadyo manasvayam.
In that place, Sri Vyasadeva, in his own ashram, which was surrounded by berry trees, sat down to meditate after touching water for purification.
Text 4. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite male apasyat purusham purnam mayam cha tad apasrayam.
Thus, he fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by linking it in devotional service, bhakti yoga, without any tinge of materialism, and thus he saw the absolute personality of Godhead, along with his external energy, which was under full control.
Text 5. Yaya samohito jiva atmanam trigunatmakam paropi munit nartham tat krutam chabipadate.
Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reactions of material miseries.
Text 6. Anartho pashamam sakshad bhakti yogam adokshaje lokasa yajanato vidvams chakre satvata samhitam.
The material miseries of the living entity, which are superfluous to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, which is in relation to the supreme truth.
Text 7. Yasyam vyai shruyamanayam krishne param purushe bhaktir utpatyate pumsha shoka moha bhayapaha.
Simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness.
Text 8. Sasanhitam bhagavatim krutyavan karma chatmajam sukham adhyapayam asa nivriti niratam munihi.
The great sage Vyasadeva, after compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam and revising it, taught it to his son, Sri Sukdev Goswami, who was already engaged in self-realization.
Text 9. Shaunaka uvacha Sava nivriti Sattah Sarvatropakshako Munihi Kasya va pratim etam Atmaramaha Sambayasat.
Sri Sonak asked Sutta Goswami. Sri Sukdev Goswami was already on the path of self-realization, and thus he was pleased with his own self. So why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such a vast literature?
Sutta Uvacha Atma Ramascha Munnayo Nirgrantha Api Urukrame Kurvante Ahitukim Bhaktim Itam Bhuta Guno Harihi.
Sutta Goswami said, all different varieties of Atmarams, those who take pleasure in the Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls.
Text 11. Harir Gunak Shipita Matir Bhagwan Badrayanani Adyagam Mahat Akyanam Nityam Vishnu Janapriyaha.
Srila Sukdev Goswami, son of Srila Vyasdev, was not only transcendently powerful, he was also very dear to the devotees of the Lord. Thus, he underwent the study of this great narration, Srimad Bhagavatam.
Text 12. Parikshito tha rajarsir janma karma vilapanam samstam cha pandu putranam vakshay Krishna kathodayam.
Sutta Goswami thus addressed the rishis headed by Sonak. Now I shall begin the transcendental narration of the Lord Sri Krishna and topics of birth, activities, and deliverance of King Parikshit, the sage among kings, as well as topics of renunciation of the worldly order by the sons of Pandu.
Text 13 and 14. Yada Mrute Kaurava Shrinjayanam Virashve Atho Viragatim Gateshu Vrikrodara Vidha Gada Bhimarsha Bhagnore Dande Dhritarashtra Putre Bharatu Priyam Dronir Iti Sma Pashyam Krishna Sutanam Swapatham Shiram Si Upaharad Vipriyam Eva Tasya Jugapsitam Karma Vighayanti.
When the respective warriors of both camps, namely the Kauravas and the Pandavas, were killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and the dead warriors obtained their deserved destinations, and when the son of Dhritarashtra fell down lamenting, his spine broken, being beaten by the club of Bhimasena, the son of Dronacharya, Ashwadhama, beheaded the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi and delivered the heads as prize to his master, foolishly thinking that he would be pleased. Duryodhan, however, disapproved of this heinous act, and he was not pleased in the least.
Text 15. Mata Shishunam Nidhanam Sutanam Nishmay Ghoram Paraktipaman Tadarudad Vaspakalu Kulakshi Tam Santavayan Aha Kiritamali.
Draupadi, the mother of the 5 children of the Pandavas, after hearing of the massacre of her sons, began to cry in distress with eyes full of tears. Trying to pacify her in her great loss, Arjun spoke to her thus.
Tada Suchaste pramrajami bhadre yad brahma bandho shira atataine gandeva muktir vishikar upahare tvak kramya yatsna yasi dagda putra.
O gentle lady, when I present you with the head of that Brahman, after beheading him with arrows from my Gandev bow, I shall then wipe the tears from your eyes and pacify you. Then, after burning your sons' bodies, you can take your bath standing on his head.
Text 17. Iti priyam valgu vichitra jalpaha sa santva it vachuta mitra sutaha anvadravad damshite ugradanva kapidvajo guru putram rathen.
Arjun, who is guided by the infallible Lord as friend and driver, thus satisfied the dear lady by such statements. Then he dressed in armor and armed himself with furious weapons, and getting into his chariot, he set out to follow Ashwadama, the son of his martial teacher.
Text 18. Tam apatantam sa vilakshya durat kumara hodvigna manarathen paradravat pranaparipshur urvyam yavad gaman urudra bhayad yathakaha.
Ashwadama, the murderer of the princess, seeing from great distance Arjun coming at him with great speed, fled into his chariot, panic-stricken, just to save his life, as Brahma fled in fear from Shiva.
Text 19. Yada sharanam atmanam aikshata shranata vajinam astram brahma shiro mane atma tranam dvijatmajaha.
When the son of the Brahmin, Ashwadama, saw that his horses were tired, he considered that there was no alternative for protection outside of his using the ultimate weapon, the Brahmastra, nuclear weapon. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, devotees, and please forgive me for my mistakes.
Thank you, Mataji and Prabhuji, for the wonderful recitation. See, now Manu Prabhu has to join. Hare Krishna, Manu Prabhuji, are you on the call? Okay, I see that Prabhu just joined the call, but might be speaking on mute.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranams. Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna. Shall we start?
Over to you, sure, Prabhuji. Do you want me to share the screen or?
I will just find out, no worries.
Okay. Yeah, let me make you a co-host so that you will be able to share the screen if needed. Yes, Prabhuji. What do you think? Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare Krishna. Thank you everybody for joining the call. Like every day, every week, I'm here to serve. We are reading from Canto 1, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7. Today is verse number 3. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram cha eva narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. Shrivatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridiyantas Thohi Abhadrani Vidinoti Suhatsadam Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Shtati. Tasmin Ashrame Vyaso Badari Sandamandite Ashino Apa Upaprashya Asino Apa Upasprashya Pranidhadhyo Manah Swayam. Tasmin Ashame Vyaso Badari Sandamandite Ashino Apa Upasprashya Pranidhadhayo Manaha Swayam. Tasmin Swa Ashrame Vyaso Badari Shandamandite Asino Up Upasprashya Pranidhadhyo Manaha Swayam. Synonyms. Translation purport, all by Srila Prabhupada. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tasmin, in that ashram, sway, own, ashrame, in the cottage, Vyasaha, Vyasadev, Badari, berry, Shand, tree, Mandite, surrounded by Asinaha, sitting, Apaha, Up asprashya, touching water, Pranidhadau, concentrated, Manaha, the mind, Swayam, himself. Translation, in that place, Srila Vyasadev, in his own ashram, which was surrounded by berry trees, sat down to meditate after touching water for purification. Under instructions of his spiritual master, Srila Narad Muni, Vyasadev concentrated his mind in that transcendental place of meditation. Om Jnanam Timirindasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Papnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. Tasmin so ashame vyaso badari shandamandite ashino upasprashya pranit dhatyo manaha swayam. So the verse is only giving us some glimpses of what Srila Vyasadeva then did when Naradev or Dev Rishi Narad left his presence. So Naradev is said to have a transcendental body. In that body, he has complete freedom to move wherever he wants to move. And that is awarded by Krishna himself. Now, this particular fact is explained to us by none other than Devrishi Narad. And that is the beauty of this particular or previous chapter, that Narad Muni himself explained the entire process of bhakti, explained the entire process of his own challenges, his struggles, his situations, his past life, how his mother died and what happened, and how he then got association. Prior to that, he got association of some exalted pure devotees of the Lord, and ultimately achieved the destination of Narad Muni, who is transcendental. His veena is transcendental. And the sound vibration coming from his veena is also transcendental. Everything is beyond the modes of material nature about Narad Muni. He's famous for liberating or giving pure devotional service to whoever his mercy fall upon. So Vyasadeva, being his disciple, he was very unhappy about everything that he has written so far. As we know the history of Vyas, he is none other than the incarnation of, literary incarnation of Lord himself, and the son of Parashar Muni, born out of Satyavati. We understand this from Mahabharata. And his main incarnation is to give this knowledge of Vedic literature to the world. And he had already created all the Upanishads and all of the Vedas, but he was not satisfied. And that's where Narad Muni explained to him, he's not satisfied because he has not described about Lord Hari in the detail and depth that it should be described for the benefit of the masses of people, specifically Kali Yuga people, in the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. What will save them? What? So Bhagavatam opened with the fact that where Dharma has taken shelter after Lord Shri Krishna has departed the world. And we all know the answer from Canto chapter 1. Dharma would reside in Srimad Bhagavatam. And who is the compiler of Srimad Bhagavatam? Vyasadeva. And who is the teacher of Vyasadeva? Narad Muni. So now, after having that discussion, Vyasadeva is getting into this deeper realization that this is something he did not consider. And now he is sitting there in his own ashram, surrounded by berry trees, sat down to meditate after touching water for purification. And we chant these mantras, Om Keshavaya Namaha. We do Archamam, Om Narayanaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha. We touch different body parts and we chant. The water has a beautiful property that, of course, it materially cleanses things, and it spiritually it purifies. And basically, when we chant the holy names of the Lord, then the purificatory process starts. So when we chant Archman, our voice gets purified. Therefore, devotees chant Archman prior to worshiping, or many times chanting or chanting the Gayatri, etc. So this process of touching water is there, and almost all the Vedic Pancharatrika vidhis where we are worshipping or chanting mantras or we're doing something sacred, something to please Krishna. And he's sitting in a setting of his own garden where there are berry trees, which means he's in a very peaceful state with the nature, and he's trying to meditate within his heart. The word meditate comes upon this verse, so I was thinking to expand on this word, meditate. So of course we know that Vyasadeva will meditate upon the pastimes of Krishna, and in his heart will be revealed the truth of the future. He already knows the past and the present, and the truth of the future will also be revealed in his heart, which he will document. But let's see the story of the living entity. Living entity takes birth and it grows, and it does some activity, produces some byproducts and dwindles, and then that body dies. So Srila Prabhupada explained this many times. And in Gita it's also explained, Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam zara tatha dehantar praptim dhiras tatramayati, which means that the soul is changing body, nevertheless staying in the same sort of circumstances. He's changing the body. So when he's changing body, let's say in the body of a child, what is the meditation of child? When he's innocent, he's desiring certain things within the proximity, perhaps the love of mother, the food stuff that you want to eat, you want to sleep, all the basic necessity of life, sleeping, eating, and keep the body machine going, playing, crying, smiling, all of that. When as the body grows, the meditation changes. In the body of a youth, there are various desires that come upon. Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajogun Samadbhava, Machano Mahapapa, Vidyanamya Verena. So the body is subjected to all the kinds of modes of nature, and mode of passion becomes prominent. And one gets attracted to different bodies and desires to have enjoyment of different various types of enjoyment. Then mating increases, mating adds into eating, sleeping, defending, mating, etc. As he grows, of course, there is a life partner, and then so on. Life goes on. He is in the mode of passion, thinking about how to earn money, how to maintain family, how to pay the mortgage, how to pay the bills, how to still keep somehow happy. In that situation, he's constantly struggling. Mana Shastani Indriyani, Prakriti Darshani Garshati. He's always struggling with his senses, trying to find our happiness. He has high hopes, very high hopes. And he's giving his full energy into trying to obtain something which can stay with him, keep him happy. All kinds of friends, all kinds of activities, going out, all kind of fashion, all kind of objects that wealth can buy. And he's obviously going after wealth. So the wealth becomes of prime importance in life. The meditation 24/7, 5 days at least a week is about how to earn money, what to do to earn money. Then 2 days he wants to do some kind of gratification so that he can ease out. So the misery reduces. When misery reduces, he feels happier. My misery is gone. I'm feeling very happy now. Reduction of misery. So Prabhupada explains Pavarga. There are Pafa, Bhama, these Vargas are there, which practically means that he works really like a horse, very, very hard. His mouth is foaming. Ultimately, he has children, and there is a duty to look after the children. and ensure that the show keeps running. And he goes on and on, life goes on, and the body keeps changing. Comes a day when he gets the glasses and he gets some indications. Okay, your diabetes is there, a bit of cholesterol is increasing. Okay, thyroid hormones are not working very well in your body. You need to de-stress. You have to give up some of your, occupation so that you can ease out in your life. You've worked very hard. Okay, some of the part of the mortgage is already paid. Insurances are running. Children are growing, going to university, etc. So life goes on, and this fellow ultimately start to feel now the peak of my life is gone. Before I knew, the peak is gone. And it's already 45, 50, 55-year-old man. He's now, or a woman, he's now meditating upon the past, meditating upon the insecurities of the future, meditating upon what to do now. All the children I worked hard for have gone. This house is too big. Okay, get into financial planning. Somehow or the other, I will downsize now, get control of my finances, and open my pension fund, etc. And the bills of medical hospitals also go on increasing, because now the body is no more youthful. It has got various elements of which is the signs of dwindling, signs of dwindling. The hair has grown gray, there is wrinkle on the face, and his body is getting weaker and weaker. A lot of disease which are attacking him. He's no more as powerful. And the ambitions, there are desires inside the heart, but he knows that he can't do anything about it. So a man sitting alone in his room is thinking about his past life, thinking about what will happen. And it is said in Shastra that anxiety, as you grow older, the level of anxiety grows equally. It grows so much that old man is so anxious about anything and everything. Also, there is a factual realization that, okay, death is going to come soon. So what will such man meditate upon? So this is the meditation of a conditioned soul. Complete life is meditation upon maintaining the yantra rudani maya. This maya has given this yantra, vehicle, body. He's maintaining that body. There's nothing else poor fellow could do throughout his life, not realizing that he's subjected to modes of nature. He's living an illusory life. All the happiness that he had been searching does not exist in Dukhalema Shashvatam. It is a mountain of unhappiness. He had big hopes. He will find happiness. He will find that juice in the desert somewhere. He's looking for sugarcane juice in the desert. And then the life is almost all gone. Very hard at that point in time, realizing what was the truth, when he just lost the whole opportunity of human life, learning about the science of soul. At best, he would have gone into some sort of yoga meditation, de-stressing activities, calming down the mind, somehow get out of this whole chaotic situation of the whole world, which is binding him, and get relieved for a few days, few weeks, holidays. And then there's a holiday after holiday, so tired of the holiday. This is it really. This is the meditation of a conditioned soul. I was trying to see, I found something what Prabhupada was saying about meditation. Yeah. This is 7.1. Bhagavad Gita 7.1. Krishna is saying, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Sakta Manaha Partha Yogam Munjanmadashrayah Asamshayam Samagram Mama Yathagyasya Takshunu. Supreme Personality of God said, now hear, O son of Pratha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. Prabhupada is explaining this verse number 7.1 of Gita, and he's saying there are many persons who like meditation. Nowadays, it is very popular, especially in your country. But when we ask them, what is the subject of meditation? They cannot say. Can you say what is the subject of meditation? Anyone who is little aware of this meditation, what is that meditation? So then devotees give different answers. Prabhupada further goes on. That means they are manufacturing. Actually, there is no fixed up knowledge. Just like somebody was asking, transcendental meditation. What is that transcendental meditation? Can you explain? And he is again questioning devotees. And then he's getting some answers. So then he says, not very, I mean to say clear, something vague. So this will not help. Here is a positive preposition that you concentrate on the form of Krishna. Maya asakta manha partha yoginam api sarvesham madgadir antaratmanam shraddhavan bhajito ye mam, etc. One has to fix up the form. Actual yoga system is to concentrate on the form of Vishnu Dhyayat Dhyanavastitah tad gatena manasa. Meditation means to concentrate the mind without being diverted to any other subject, simply thinking of Lord Vishnu. That is yoga meditation recommended in Vedic literature. So here also Krishna says, me, Krishna and Vishnu, same. Vishnu is expansion of Krishna. So when we concentrate our mind upon Krishna, Vishnu is included here. So then Pradyumna is saying that Navada Bhakti, by that you can do the meditation. Prabhupada goes on saying that. So our yoga system is not like that. That we a whole day, 23 hours and 45 minutes, I engage myself in all nonsensical activities. And 15 minutes, I concentrate my mind, the meditation. That kind of system is not here. Here it is 24 hours of meditation, even during sleeping. 24-hour means during sleeping also. Life should be molded in such a way that 24 hours you will be able to think of Krishna. So this is what I explained in the purport of chapter 7.1. And yet in another lecture at school, he says, you have to remember Krishna. This is called meditation. This is called samadhi. Meditation which is going on some rascaldom, that is not meditation. Meditation means always thinking about Krishna. And he quotes chapter, verse number 47 again, yoginam api sarvesham matgatarantaratmana. Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam samay yuktamo mataha. So Prabhupada is making it very clear that what is actually meditation is. Now, in this context, I would just like to read few verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, which we have already studied in the past. But Srila Prabhupada has quoted these verses further emphasizing the efficacy of the process of devotional service, specifically Shravanam Kirtanam. And so the verse we chant all the time is Nasprayasya Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Bhaktir Bhavati Naishti. It says a regular attendance, regular hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam, and rendering service to the pure devotees. All that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. What is it that is troublesome to the heart? The desires that is arising in the mind. The desire to enjoy, the desire to control, trying to become Bhoktaram, trying to become Maheshwaram. So those desires are there. And these desires, they are, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, they are going to be destroyed. and desires will transform into loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. It won't turn back. Once it's changed for good forever. The transformation will happen in the heart. That is the beauty of hearing about Lord Krishna. And from Srimad Bhagavatam and many other scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, then it says, Tada rajastamo bhava kama lobhadayascha ye cheta etar anavidham sthitam satya prasidati. Which is just the very next verse after Nashprayashu. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, effect of nature's mode of passion, rajogunam, and ignorance, tamogud, such as lust and lusty desires and hankering, will disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes completely happy. In that state of mind, in that state of heart, one can meditate upon Krishna. Then his mind will not run after here, there, through the objects of senses, trying to achieve things, run after the results, and become karma phalam ashritam. No. His mind will then stay on the subject of Krishna consciousness, on the subject of Krishna's beautiful qualities, pastimes, abode of Krishna, knowing more and more about Krishna, because it's such a sweet taste to it. It will develop that ruchi in his heart. That is what this verse is saying. That Rajas and Tama, these two gunas, which are pulling down the living entity, they will disappear from the heart. How wonderful is that? They'll completely disappear. Then it says, Evam prasanna manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate. Thus, established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. This is what Sud Goswami is instructing to the sages of Naimisharanya. That it is such a scientific process that once the mode of goodness, unalloyed goodness, is established in the heart, the mind is enlivened with devotional service to the Lord, he gains positive knowledge of personality of God. And Krishna himself says that one who is trying to know me through devotional service, I'll go in their heart and I'll reveal myself to them. Krishna cannot be revealed by anybody else. He cannot be, of course, he can be revealed in parampara by acharyas, by gurus. But when Krishna desires, that will happen so swiftly. And then he says, this is the golden verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because our attachment is so deep. Our attachment is so deep with the material life. I was hearing this lecture this morning by Srila Prabhupada. He was talking about the knots within our relationships. He was talking about the verses, prayers of Kunti Maharani. He was saying that Kunti Maharani, being a woman, has affection on two sides of the family. On the mother's side, as well as on her parent side, as well as her husband's parent side. And she's praying to Krishna to develop the affection for Krishna, and somehow she can be relieved from the attachments with the material world for both the sides of affections. Such close affections are there. So Prabhupada was saying that it is very, very difficult to break the ties of this affection, specifically with your spouse. Very, very difficult. Therefore, he was recommending that we must follow the Varna Ashram system. Vanaprastha Ashram is designed so that husband and wife, they can be completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. They can stop worrying about the matters of the money, and they can devote their lives in the spiritual consciousness. They travel, they go preaching, they do pilgrimages together, but they do not have any more bodily contact. And at some point in time, when the son is grown enough, the mother is sent back. He used this word, is sent back to be looked after by children. And this man then takes sannyas, which means not sannyas can be again seen in many views. But sannyas means that complete preaching, complete surrender and complete preaching mode. So then this is the verse Prabhupada is quoting now. Vidayate hriday granthi, vidayate hriday granthis, chiddayante sarva samasyaha, shiyanti shastra karmani, drisht evat manishware. Thus, the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive activities is terminated when one sees the self as master. And then this is the verse which talks about what is the meditation. Vasudev para Veda, Vasudev para Makha, Vasudev para Yoga, Vasudev para Kriya, Vasudev param Jnanam, Vasudev param Tapah, Vasudev paro Dharmo, Vasudev para Gati. In the revealed scriptures, the ultimate object of knowledge is Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The purpose of performing sacrifice is to please him. Yoga is for realizing him. All fruitive activities are ultimately rewarded by him only. He is the supreme knowledge, and all severe austerities are performed to know him. Religion is rendering loving service unto him. He is the supreme goal of life. So this is what Vyasadeva is sitting down to meditate upon after touching the water of purification. He's going to concentrate his mind in the transcendental place of meditation. And that transcendental place of meditation is the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. I had thought of talking about the qualities of Krishna, who is personal form, and we get to know about Krishna in his personal form. And what are his beautiful qualities? 64 qualities are described in Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami. So if we read these 64 qualities, they are magnanimous, but some other day, there is no time. But I'll read one anecdote from the book. It says, by his example, by His Grace Gurudas Prabhu, it talks about impersonalism. One time, they were in Amritsar, and in Amritsar, ISKCON group was also invited to speak, but there were so many impersonalists there, and who do not believe in the presence of Krishna, right? And there are Gyanis who want to merge into the Brahman Jyoti, and there are these mystic yogis who want to obtain all the powers of the universe that they can. So they have their different goals, and they have their field of meditations. So Gurudas was saying that they were waiting for their turn in the large hall, while the impersonalist sadhus droned on and on. And the previous day, he said that he spoke about impersonalism. He spoke about personalism. He gave some fancy graphic examples. So then they were not allowed to speak, because he mentioned about the variegatedness in the society. And he said, we can choose to love God rather than trying to become him, because there's variety in the spiritual realm, not oneness. That is why we marry a certain friend, a partner, rather than going in the street blindfolded to pick up a companion. That is why we pick up a sweet we like to eat rather than eating the stool in the street. So when he spoke these words, then the impersonalists, they became very agitated. And they came to Prabhupada and said to them, this is what these guys are speaking, your Western disciples. And then Gurudas explained Prabhupada But what did he mean? What did he mean when he said these things? So Prabhupada told them that my American and European disciples sometimes give graphic examples. He quietly laughed. He calmed them some more and changed the subject. They all left very satisfied. This is what Gurudas was saying. Then he said, they probably thought that I would be strongly reprimanded by my father, his stern father. So when they were all gone, Prabhupada turned to Gurudas Prabhu and in a childlike way, he asked him, so what was that example? Stool in the street instead of sweets, etc. Very good example. And they both were laughing away. So the next day, they were not getting their turn to speak now. And the argument was going on regarding the meaning of Aham Brahmasmi, etc. So Gurudas Prabhu came to Prabhupada's quarter, which was adjacent to that place where this debate was going on. And he said to Prabhupada, they are laboring so hard. He said to Prabhupada, this is what's going on. And then Prabhupada smiled and said, they are laboring so hard without reaching a conclusion. And we will reach God just by eating prasadam. Because Prabhupada was just honoring prasadam. He popped some prasadam in his mouth and continued smiling almost thankishly. So that was very nice. So devotees can meditate upon anything which is related to Krishna and they'll be very happy, they'll be pleasing Krishna, and they can come to Krishna in his loving devotional association. And this is the subject of meditation of Srila Vyasadeva. I'll stop my discussion here and invite any comment, or if there is any question in the room, we can share that. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. I can see some nice appreciations. Thank you very much, All Gaurishwar Prabhupada. If there is no question or comment, we can then perhaps end our talk here and the session for today. We'll meet soon again. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvaya
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the
Thank
wonderful.
you. Very
Thank you,
enlightening
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
session, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you. Thank you Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna.